Hello and welcome to the following presentation on understanding mental health and coping strategies by myself, Georgina. Throughout this presentation, we will be looking at sources of psychological stress, effects of psychological stress, coping strategies, and effectiveness of a variety of coping strategies. To quote the World Health Organization in 2022, mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life. Mental health empowers individuals to identify their potential, become well educated, and work efficiently, and to give back to their society. It plays a fundamental role towards an individual in a holistic approach, aiding our way of thinking and decision making, creating lasting relationships, and has an impact on our environment. Having positive mental health is a basic human right and plays an essential role in personal development, communal power, and socio-economical movements. The largest difficulty to overcome is psychological stress, which is causing an individual to feel the pressure and the sense of being unable to cope. As researched by Yarp in 2021, there are multiple aspects in life which can cause psychological stress. Firstly, routine stress, which can be associated with workplace strains such as deadlines and long hours, as well as relationship difficulties with conflict within the family or discomforting environments. Adolescents commonly experience stress regarding examinations, assignments, and performance reviews. Secondly, unexpected harmful stress, which can be associated with unanticipated unemployment, income difficulties, a diagnosis of critical illness, and even potentially a breakdown of a marriage, also bereavement or having to relocate. Similarly, chronic stress is more consistent, which prolongs over a period, and due to the continuation of problems connected to work and finances. Opposed to acute stress, if left untreated, chronic stress can damage an individual's health. Additionally, acute stress is temporary, and as this only arises due to events such as exams or job interviews, and typically doesn't persist for very long. Finally, traumatic stress, or commonly known as PTSD, originates from a distressing experience such as a car accident, any form of attack, natural disaster, or any assault or any position where an individual does not feel safe. Acute stress activates the response of our stress hormones, adrenaline, and cortisol. These then stimulate the nervous system, allowing the body to react to confrontation or any potential attacks. From this, the body reacts with the physical changes such as higher heart rate, increased blood pressure, quickening of breath, tense muscles, heightened awareness and strength. Expressively, anxiety and frustration can be experienced during acute stress. The sudden increase in hormones can also result in difficulty to manage emotions, causing extreme emotional responses. Founded by George in 2024. Chronic stress can have life-threatening impacts on individuals, and there is a higher chance of mental disorders and drug or alcohol dependency. Physically, the immune system becomes compromised, therefore, a decline in the nervous system, which as a result can impact and trigger additional health conditions such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and strokes. In males, chronic stress can also limit the production of sperm, decrease libido, and possibly restrict the chances of fertility, as the reproductive system is also compromised, also founded by George in 2024. As well as agreeing with George in 2024, the British Heart Foundation in the same year also researched that both forms of stress can initiate other indicators such as increased irritability, headaches, mysterious pains, insomnia, and feelings of anxiety. In addition, the NHS in 2021 explained that an individual's behaviour will alter when undergoing stress, such as their workout routines, diets, and dodging social group activities. There are several methods which are positive habits for coping with stress, and some of these include gentle exercise, for example, walking, leisurely activities such as yoga, mindfulness, meditation, which can help calm the mind, healthy food choices, adequate amount of sleep, and plenty of water, limiting alcohol and caffeine intake, and evading nicotine to help balance mood and energy levels, and talking therapy with friends, family, a close confidant, or a personal therapist, and this can also allow for a sense of relief and seeing things from an alternative perspective while seeking support. Time organisation, such as prioritising tasks and taking frequent breaks, can help prevent the feeling of becoming overwhelmed. And also remember your interests and hobbies, as they have an encouraging diversion from stress. Emotion-focused coping. This strategy looks at handling the emotion which is produced by the stressor instead of concentrating on the initial stressor. Research by Van der Brande et al. In 2020. In effect, this is achieved by adapting an individual's emotion reaction to decrease uneasy emotions, minus openly focusing on the origin of the issue. Researchers' opinions vary, as some believe that this coping method will result in more damaging effects and possibly contributing towards additional mental health issues, as said by Yang in 2021. However, unpredictable situations, it can be difficult to regulate the emotional response. Alternatively, problem-focused coping looks at intensively focusing on the root cause of stress, identified as the attempt to control work stresses by identifying and interpreting them, planning solutions, and choosing a course of action, as quoted by Van der Brande et al. In 2020. This is one of the most successful approaches to maintain stress, as it allows individuals to regulate and simplify noticeable adjustments. That being said, it does rely heavily on each individual's ability to handle the circumstances they are in. If they are unable to do this for themselves, it can result in irritation for the individuals, as said by Zaman and Ali in 2019. Meaning-focused coping methods allow thought processes to have a significance when in a stressful situation. Al-Gorani and Gupta in 2021. Similarly to emotion-focused coping, this method is effective when circumstances cannot be altered or influenced, as said by Leopold Munz and Michelle Malwaksky in 2019. How this method is practiced can vary among individuals, as it can be adapted to different cultures, societal views, and life ambitions. Social coping refers to when an individual reaches out for support from the family or friends, even with therapists when undergoing high volumes of stress, as said by Al-Gorani and Gupta in 2021. This can prevent different individuals from feeling isolated with their emotions and can have high quality effectiveness regarding the support given. However, depending on this support may not always be the most beneficial. And finally, avoidance coping allows detaching oneself from activities and social interactions that one may have previously enjoyed to avoid the contact with certain stressors, according to Meyerson et al. In 2022. This strategy isn't very effective for long-term use, and this has been connected to deprived emotional working and can have a negative effect on mental health in the long term, as suggested by Pang and Thomas in 2020. Psychological stress can occur in most areas of life, ranging from daily routines, unexpected life events, or continuing issues. Typically occurring in work, school, or family and friend relationships, routine stress is less harmful in comparison to acute stress indicators, such as physical or mental trauma, illness, or persistent issues. Acute stress will result in symptoms such as a quicker heart rate, feeling tense, whereas chronic stress can develop more significant issues, such as further mental health conditions, a weakened immune system, and heart disease. We each handle stress differently, therefore it is important to have a variety of methods in which we can overcome it and allow us to cope better, each having their own strengths and limitations. To finalise, beneficial coping mechanisms allow for an important improvement in well-being and limits how individuals manage their stress, and it can take time to find the best methods as we all have individualistic needs. Thank you for listening, and please see below all the references used within this presentation.